is up? What is up? What is up? We are back in black in the building. What is going on? Oh man, another day, another 10 cent. What is going on, people? Man, you already know what I'm gonna hit y'all. It's Sunday today. I'm gonna hit y'all with. Did he come back? Oh, damn. The nigga ain't come back. Y'all did all that hooping and hollering and and all this bullshit. The nigga ain't even come back. Man, fuck out of here, man. Shout out to everybody at the Court Plantation. You already know what it is. I am your boy, your gracious player partner, host in the building. No, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm gonna tell you my perspective on shit. Shout out to everybody that is at the Court Plantation and not borrowing money and playing games. There's a lot of niggas. First of all, I gotta get on. There's a lot of niggas that be at the job just begging for no reason. So, I can't stand those niggas. Don't y'all hate them niggas that you be like, hey, this motherfucker coming. I know they about to ask for something. They about to ask for a ride or some money or you got some food. So shout out to niggas that be avoiding those type of niggas. God damn. And shout out to a lot of the people that's out there that's got to get up and go to work on a Sunday. You mad that you can't go sing in the choir and be seen giving your offering so everybody can know that you done gave a little offering to the pastor on some sucker shit. So shout out to all y'all niggas. No diss, but god damn. If niggas read books, if niggas worship books like they worship Cesare Borgia and go to the court and go to a church where you don't know what the fuck is going on, but you just going because it's a life insurance policy. It's an insurance policy just in case Jesus is real. That's why you're going. That's why most people go. Well, I'm gonna get it just in case it's real because you know if it's not, then it's all good. But if it is, then I can be on that side. I told you Jesus is real. So shout out to all you good. Jesus is real. I know bullshit. But don't even got life insurance on your children. So I don't want to hear that shit. Hey man, I always want to give a special shout out to all the people at the Court Plantation that is working so hard and efficiently to provide for their family. And I always want to give a special shout out to all my melanated people that is trying to compartmentalize a lot of their frustrations and anger and don't want to slap the shit out of one of them European motherfuckers at the job that want to talk crazy to you and shit. And shout out to all my melanated people that's dealing with every other racial group at the Court Plantation who is replicating and is a distinct behavior of the white dominant society and act like they want to tout their nationality all day long, but when they get on that corporate plantation job, who they act like? They don't act like no Latinos or no Filipino. They act like them white folk. Just thumbs of America. Just emailing all day. Just email thug all day long. Motherfucker walk right by you instead of telling, hey man, can you do such and such? You check your email and it's on your email. That type of shit. So shout out to all y'all that motherfuckers that know how to deal with that shit. Shout out to all y'all that's knowing how to deal with this scamdemic, plandemic. Shout out to all y'all that's reading and studying. Like I said, I hate to go hard on my black Christians, man. But if y'all studied Dr. Claude Anderson, y'all studied Dr. Claude Anderson like y'all studied that damn King James Bible. Boy, black folk wouldn't be nothing to fuck with, boy. We'd be on top of our game. For real, I'm sorry, man. Study a Sunday school lesson. Niggas study their Sunday school lesson, be proud to know their Sunday school lesson. But then when you be like, hey, man, did you read Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow? They'd be like, what is that? But I can tell you about the Genesis 101. Fuck out of here. So shout out to everybody that, man, that's studying, reading, trying to acquire and ascertain the knowledge as they go along. As Nelly Fuller Jr. teaches, I'm still learning. Hey. Shout out to everybody that is, I would say not planning on taking that vaccination. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't want to get it, don't get it. Just keep yourself healthy. Shout out to all the black folks out there that is using and relying on the powers of their pineal gland and the melanin that they have within inside them to ward off and weed off all that negative energy and all that internal physical energy that you have in your body, because you know food is electric, like Dr. Sabi teaches, or taught. Shout out to everybody that's, you know what I'm saying, on their sea moss or your lemon water or your natural herbs. There's a difference between natural herbs and vitamins. So shout out to all you motherfuckers that's on that shit, because there's a lot of people that don't know the difference. If you don't know, go check out myitraherbs.com. myitraherbs.com. Shit is cold, man. All y'all that don't, man, go get you some sea moss. Y'all know what it is. Now, shit, that shit ain't easy to make. That shit is very difficult if you want to get it right. Get it right, get it right, get it tight. And shout out to everybody that don't want to go to the corporate plantation. I'm telling you right now, you better get your ass up and go to work. Nigga, because on payday, that shit gon' hurt. So stop talking this, I don't want to go to work. You don't go to work, you don't go to work. Then a nigga be talking about, hey man, can I get like $600? I need to pay my car payment. Hey nigga, well, you better get your ass up to work. Ah damn, you know what it is. In this rat race, in this United States of America Incorporated. Y'all notice I always say that because the United States of America is a corporation. So for all you Bible thumpers that want to walk around here talking about, did you accept Jesus Christ as your personal savior? And you want to go to heaven? You be like, okay, first before I go to heaven, I need to understand what racism and white supremacy is. And I need to understand how to establish a system of justice. So if all you dumb motherfuckers out there that will browbeat a motherfucker with a damn Bible that somebody told you that was your God, but you don't want to go and do the research for yourself and come into the own knowledge. Sambo Coon, tell him about the gun line, Hayward Shepherd, Stephen from Django, ass motherfucker. And that's all I can say. Nigga kill a nigga over a turf, over a color, over a bitch, but won't keep that same energy when it comes to them white folk. Shout out to everybody that has read the ISIS papers by our queen mother, the great, most honorable Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. So shout out to everybody that has read that. Shout out to everybody that is staying focused on that matters most to you. Go get you some vision boards and let 2021 be the year that you try to reach a little bit of your goals. So that's what we're going to work on. And last but not least, let's start working on history. Let's start reading and understanding what history is. Because without history, where would we be without history? Where would we be? If you didn't know what was going on, we're going to get into all that today. We're going to get into the transition of power. We're going to get into, the motherfucking police out there in Tacoma, Washington, who ran over those motherfuckers. We're going to get into all that. We're going to touch on a little bit of everything. But remember that question. Without history, where would you be? Let's get into it. Man, a lot of shit, man. The reason why, look, man, I don't try to go so hard on the black Christians, but I just noticed with black Christians, boy, they be gung-ho to go at you about some, you want to go to heaven or you want to go to hell and you want to be delivered and all this other shit. But then when you be like, hey, man, what's up with the new Jim Crow and mass incarceration and mandatory minimums and what's up with all this? You be like, oh, well, yeah, man, the crack epidemic and all that stuff. Yeah, man, you right. Okay. Well, we just voted for somebody that was, you voted for Joe Biden? Yeah, Joe Biden, we had to get Trump out of there, man. He was racist. Okay, well, let's take a deep dive into history. Let's just go back the last 30 years. Now, if we go back the last 30 years, right? The last 30 years, wasn't they talking about the war on drugs? How are we still talking about the war on drugs? Right? Drugs is, but now it flipped to the opioid addiction. When it get to white folk, it go from crack to the opioid addiction when you're dealing with white folk. That's one. Two, let's talk about who brung those drugs over to the United States of America Incorporated. Let's talk about all the phrases and things that were used. Everybody was so mad at Donald Trump because he said, make America great again. Did y'all know that Ronald Reagan coined that term? Did y'all know that he popularized that term? Ronald Reagan was an actor. and he became the president. He wasn't no politician. He was an actor that became the governor and then became the goddamn president of the United States of America Incorporated. And then his wife, Nancy Reagan, had another to tell everybody in the United States of America, just say no. At the time, your boy Bush was the CIA director. Look, man, this does not take a whole lot of research. You can Google it. God damn. Motherfuckers be on their phone thumbs of America all day, taking Snapchats and photos of themselves and posting on IG so you can look a certain way and people could have a certain perception of you, but don't nobody want to go do a little bit of digging into history so they can see, okay, where'd that come from? I had to check a motherfucker a couple of days ago. I'm like, well, Donald Trump did not coin the term "Make America Great Again." Ronald Reagan did. Matter of fact, I would say history not only has repeated itself, but if you don't know history, then I would say that you don't know exactly where you're going and you don't know what the fuck is going on. I was watching this documentary on Netflix called Crack, and they had a whole bunch of people on there. They had Freeway Rick on there, but I noticed in that documentary, they didn't let Freeway Rick do a whole lot of talking about the FBI and the CIA and where he's getting the crack from and all the drugs and the things that he was doing. They let him talk about how much he sold and how much money he made, but when it came time to talk about law enforcement and government officials being in alignment with him selling the drugs, that's when you didn't hear any of that. And the reason why I say that is because even to this day, you got all these black folk serving all these mandatory minimum sentences for crack. You got more time for crack than you did for regular cocaine. And they didn't see nothing wrong with it. And they just kept using the excuse within the documentary that, well, they had like 2 or 3 weeks to get this bill done and all that, which your boy Joe Biden, he was right there in the 80s. As Donald Trump did say, he is a career politician and he's done more harm to black folk than he has done good. Now, for all you people, like I said before, all you black folk that are Bible thumpers and love to go to church and sing in the choir and sing your solos and pay your tithes and be the first one when they get to singing, give and it shall be given unto you, press down, you know that bullshit. Nigga want to sing your song to get you in the mood to give up your money. Nigga be giving up their rent money thinking the Lord gonna make a way. Man, now look, while they running that game on you, you can ask those very same people, hey man, that's good you give to the church, but do you think there's something wrong with there's a black church and a liquor store on every corner? There's a black church, a liquor store, and then crack on every corner? Why are these black churches not doing nothing about the neighborhoods? They just collecting the money. And a lot of the times, I feel like a lot of black churches, they only do things when it's in the light. So you can cast a very good positive light on their church, get membership, and then people look at it like it's something for the people, when in actuality, nigga, I grew up in LA. I saw a lot of black churches, and I saw a lot of liquor stores, and I saw a lot of crack addicts and dope fiends. And I didn't see a lot of black churches do a goddamn thing about it. But I saw them still collecting that money, and that's what I'm saying. If you're not rehabilitating black folk, then what good are you, in my personal opinion? That's the question that I have. Motherfucker want to talk about Fred Price, but Fred Price had Dr. Claude Anderson at his church. How many black churches had Dr. Claude Anderson there to speak on black labor, white wealth, and power economics? I ain't heard of no black churches, but I know Fred Price did. You can look it up. It's on YouTube. Crenshaw Center. Fred Price has talked about race a lot. See, but Fred Price knew, I'm going to build my platform, then I'm going to stand on it. By the time I stand on it, I already built my platform, so they really can't take it away from me. Because people fuck with me because of who I am at this point. Hey, I'm telling you right now, man. Even you know my thumbnail on the picture where it says, without history, where will we be? That's a picture of George Bush Sr. holding crack as he had a black detective, an undercover detective, have a drug dealer meet him in front of the White House, have him sell the drugs to the black detective, and then arrest him and turn it in. And then the president holds up the goddamn crack and says, this is crack cocaine. And we're going to start, basically cracking down, no pun intended, on these thugs and drug dealers and stuff like that. This is all hypocrisy, man. That's what I mean about black folk having that energy and that vitriolic mentality towards black folk, but then when it comes to dominant white society, we don't really have much to say a lot of the times. We'll fight niggas all day, and then when a motherfucker be like, well, what you feel about the white people? Man, fuck the white people. Oh, for real? Yeah. Well, why don't you go say that to him? Nah, shit, man. Nigga ain't trying to lose his job, nothing like that, but you be ready to go to jail and lose everything just because a nigga stepped on your Jordan. And I noticed that, too, this is what's so funny. It wasn't really a problem until white folks started getting addicted to crack. Then it was like, all right, now we got to do something. But at that point, it was already too far gone. And now the drugs are so bad and the dope fiends are so bad, they didn't change the language. The neural linguistic program is a cold motherfucker. NLP is cold. They done changed the motherfucking language. Opioid epidemic. But in the 80s, they took black babies, black mothers, black fathers, made them the poster child for crack cocaine. And didn't nobody say nothing about it. And by the time it was out of control, they had the director, a CIA come out and try to quell the storm. But that was just a distraction. Oh, we didn't have nothing to do with the crack being brung into the United States. But my thing is, if we don't own no ships, no boats, no planes, then how was the crack getting to the United States of America? It's just like now. Y'all voted in a president that's going to practice benign neglect so bad. A lot of these black politicians are going to be so mad. They're going to be so embarrassed. They're not going to want to show their face in 3 or 4 years. And then they're going to be forced to get back out there and try to get black folks to vote again because they're going to want their crumbs. That's why you got to know about history, man. I don't claim to know anything, but I know enough to know that, hey, Ronald Reagan said just say no and make America great again. His wife said just say no, which was, I think was ironic. You telling everybody just say no to drugs and all this other shit, but then y'all funding the Contras, taking crack or taking the cocaine, bringing it back to the Americas, making money off of it, selling weapons to Iran. I know what y'all's doing. Which no United States of America public school system will ever discuss. They always teach you, what do they teach you about in public school? George Washington, James Madison, and all these other white supremacists who owned slaves, raped, robbed, pillaged, and were very destructive to black folk. But they have you praise these people. You got to know the presidents. You got to know the different states, the House of Representatives. You got to know the Senate. And you better know the Bill of Rights and all that shit. That's indoctrination. But when it comes to black history, what do they talk about in black history? They talk about Harriet Tubman and Martin Luther King. That's it. They don't talk about anything else in black history. They love giving you MLK. Because MLK, they liked MLK because MLK was safe. That's why. MLK was safe at the time. But then when he became a threat, they didn't want to be bothered with MLK. That's why they killed him. Arizona doesn't even celebrate Martin Luther King Day. And the main corporate behind that is John McCain, who voted against MLK Day so many goddamn times because he didn't give a fuck about no niggas. I was reading The Destruction of a Black Civilization. It's called the bridge view. So basically the bridge view of where we've come from and where we come from and what is going on with black people in the United States of America the last 6,000 years. Like where we come from, is things better? Is it worse? And then when you look at it in the totality of things, it's kind of the same. Like, why you say that? Well, why wouldn't it be? And you like, what do you mean, why wouldn't it be? Well, what has the United States of America done to move the economic base for black folk one iota? They have not done nothing. They don't plan on doing anything. It even talks about in this book, The Destruction of a Black Civilization, how in the bridge view for black folk, we are very content with march, whining, repeating, and dancing and singing and showing people that we know how to dance and we know how to sing and complain and march. But as far as asking for things that are deserving of us, we won't ask. That's why you have so many black folk that stay away from the discussion of reparations. They don't want to talk about reparations. Niggas want to go to church and pray and sing in the choir. Bitches want to sing in the choir. And some niggas want to fuck the bitches in the choir. And then a lot of those bitches that ain't in the choir, that's at the church, want to fuck the pastor. That's what's going on. You're like, oh, when you out of line. Yeah, nigga, that's what it is. Because bitches want power and niggas do too. Bitches love power and niggas want the power because they know bitches love it. That's why most pastors have more control of your relationship than you do. Facts. Because if they didn't, then your woman would be like, oh, I'm going to church. You need to go to church and all this other shit. Find a woman and sit down and be like, hey, man, we not going to church this Sunday. What we going to do is we going to start reading these books. This week, we going to learn about Dr. Claude Anderson. We going to learn about him. We going to read this book and see what the fuck he talking about. I guarantee you, most women will be like, why? Why? What do we need to learn about that? How's that going to help us? And all this other stuff. Geez, we just got to pray about it. And that's the problem, man. That's why I always talk every week and I'll be like, pray. Who you praying to? I was watching this movie on Hulu. It's called The Tax Collection. It was about these Latino gangs in LA, you know, in the Mexican mafia and their infrastructure and how they worked and all this other stuff. Well, it was a pretty good movie. It had Shia LaBeouf in it. It had George Lopez, very good actors. It was decent. And in this movie, you go check it out on Hulu. In this movie, it's just basically about turfs and a lot of Latinos, organization and the organizational chart and what you're supposed to do and how you do it and who you collect from and who you don't collect from. Well, one brother basically, it's basically big bank take little bank. And okay, well, you're done. You know what I mean? And this person, it's time to rule and all this other stuff. So what ends up happening is there's this scene where the main character, he does a tax collection where he, basically taxing different Latino gangs or whatever. Well, this other dude is like, well, basically, you're not taxing my shit. So he stands up to him. He kills one of his people. Long story short, before he goes through, the other Latino goes through and does a raid on the main character, the main Latino brother. He's sitting down at an altar and practicing Santeria, voodoo. When I seen that shit, I just was like, man, why don't black folk wake the fuck up? He's sacrificing a motherfucking chicken at the altar with the blood. He's got all his ancestor shit up there. Then he sacrifices this woman, takes her blood, puts it all on. I said, oh, he's practicing Santeria, Kundule, basically, voodoo. And I'm like, that is beyond crazy that everybody knows what the fuck we do but us. Everybody else ain't afraid of our shit, but we the only ones afraid of it. The United States of America Incorporated has done a great and fantastic job at giving you Jesus Christ and taking away voodoo, Ifa, Kundule, Santeria. They've done a great job at that, man. That's why you got to go read history, man. Go read Behold the Pale Horse. Behold the Pale Horse talks about this DE agent that was basically assigned to Noriega. Noriega, the real drug lord, had a side bitch. I've told this story a million times. He had a side bitch. He had a baby with the side bitch. Well, Noriega's wife practiced Santeria, so she did a spell on his side bitch, and the side bitch went crazy. So Noriega had to go to a voodoo priestess basically in Brazil and undo that spell that Noriega's wife did on his side bitch. And that DEA agent, that probably scared the shit out of his ass. I'm telling you, that's why they will give you Jesus Christ, which is nothing wrong with that if you know what you're praying to. But then they'll keep Kundule, they'll keep Yoruba, they'll keep Ifa, they'll keep voodoo, they'll keep that. They'll keep numerology. They'll keep astrology. But then they'll give you Jesus Christ. Jesus. Turn it over to the Lord and he work it out. Oh, yeah. It just blows my mind. When I was watching the movie, and I was already like, hey, this is a pretty good movie. But when the Latino brothers started doing Santeria, that shit blew my mind. I just was like, damn, man. Like, everybody uses our shit but us. And they don't even want to. And when they show us using voodoo, it's so booga, 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 booga. They got, and it is even like that. Jaimin Hansu had this documentary about voodoo. It was on Amazon Prime. Very, very good documentary. It was about an hour, and it was good. It was just breaking down the sciences of voodoo and voodoo and calling upon the ancestors and ancestor worship. Because that's all it basically is ancestor worship. But we're so busy condemning other folk for doing that we don't even want to take the time to do the research on it. But you'll argue a nigga down about Jesus. And then when you be like, hey man, let me ask you a question. Why is the letter J 2,000 years, the letter J 900 years old, but Jesus is 2,000 years old? So what was his name before that? Because his name had to be something else. And if it was in Africa, how come they were Hebrew names? Like, man, what's going on? Was it in Africa or where the fuck was it? Okay, so he was the king of the Jews. Okay, so are the Jews black or what the fuck is going on? Then you start, Jesus has no color. That's what I'm saying, man. That's why people need to eject themselves from the matrix. They need to get out of that bullshit, come into their own knowledge of who they are and where they come from, and know your history or know a little bit of your history. So when people are putting things in front of you, you can decipher and read the code and know what it is. Just like in the Matrix. That's why everybody think you got a choice. Yeah, you got a choice that they gave you. That's why the Merovingian told Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus, everybody has a choice. The Merovingian was like, no, you don't have a choice. No. And they were like, what? He's like, no, you don't have a choice. A choice is between those with power and those without. Sorry. And he's what? A choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without. Basically, that's what he was saying. Like, nigga, you don't have a choice. The choice is, they gave you the choice. They gave you the narrative. They already know what they're doing. A lot of this shit is already planned. It's already planned down the line. They're going to veer you so far to the left. That's why they wanted, in my opinion, they wanted Trump in there to push people so far, like, oh, we got to get away from Trump. He's just so bad, so you can just be at the feet of Joe Biden. And then you'll forget all the horrific things that he has done to the foundational Black American society by mass incarceration, putting over 550,000 people in prison for mandatory minimums, and drug laws and all this other bullshit for weed that now is legal all of a sudden. Why people still in the pen for this shit, stop. But now it's legal. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all better wake up. They about to start, nigga, y'all think water about to be cheap? It's gonna be a time where you're gonna be able to get good water and you're gonna get destructive water. Destructive water is gonna be like $1 a bottle. The good water is gonna be like $4 a bottle in a minute. Because there's gonna be a water shortage, like Dr. Claude Anderson talked about, a food shortage. So they're about to start giving people all kinds of shit food. And then then that's when everybody gonna start turning over to the CMOS and all the healthy shit. And then there's gonna be a shortage on that. They're gonna start taxing that shit. Oh, you want CMOS? Trust me, you gonna look up and be able to go get CMOS in the store and they gonna tax that ass on it. It ain't even gonna be the real shit. This is what they do. They give you the option. They put the food in the stores for you. If you live in a major city and you see all these fast food places, have you ever thought, like Chick-fil-A, it ain't that many chickens in the goddamn world where they can sell you that much chicken. Between them and KFC, you tell me there's enough farms to supply them with chicken? They're not using meat glue? Stop. But like I said, turn it over to the Lord, need to work it out. Oh yeah, that's the problem, man. That's a big fucking problem. Then you got the motherfucking police in Tacoma that just move, bitch, get out the way, and just ran over those niggas. I don't understand why people think that it is the police job to keep you safe. They have shown time and time again, their job is not to keep you safe. Once you're acting like a domesticated primate to them, to the race soldiers, green light, open season to kill you. And all they gotta say is they were in fear for their life. Now you tell them you were in fear for your life. If you end up shooting them, you're going to prison if they don't kill you. Eventually one day, man, motherfuckers will wake up. Motherfuckers is so worried about what Joe Biden is gonna do and and going to his first day of mass and what the Supreme Court is gonna do and how things gonna change and talking about Kamala Harris's first day in the Oval Office and Kamala looks like me. Well, guess what? Barack Obama looked like you too. And what the fuck did he do for black folk? Not a goddamn thing. So y'all niggas better remember that shit. When you at the court plantation, look to your left and look to your right. Look at how many people are replicating the behavior of the dominant white society. More people will replicate that behavior than anything else. You know what? I was looking at this thing and I'm gonna play this footage. Let me see. Let's see what it's all about. It's a little bit of audio footage. I wanted to see what they was talking about after this commercial, cause I don't play no commercials. This ain't Fox or none of that shit. But this son, he kind of like dry snitch on his pops about him attending the Capitol riot. But I think this is all a setup. So we about to see, cause it's Andrew Cuomo interview. So here we go.
A reality that you haven't seen? All these people sucked into Trump's lies and extremism. It's not just dividing us as a nation. Think of the families. Case in point, Guy Reffitt. He's now been charged with unlawful entry at the U.S. Capitol and obstruction of justice for threatening his own family. According to FBI documents, he told his own son and daughter, if you turn me in, you're a traitor, and you know what happens to traitors. Traitors get shot. To his own kids, he said that. It didn't take long for the FBI to find him. His 18-year-old son knew that his father had changed, and
This sounds just like what George Bush did. George Bush Sr. did when he had the crack cocaine in the bag, talking about this person was selling it in front of the White House, when in actuality, the black undercover police officer said, hey man, I told him to meet me there. He didn't even know where the White House was. Go watch this documentary on Netflix called Crack. The black officer said he didn't even know where the fuck the White House was. I told him, hey man, this is how you get there. Just sell it to me in front of the White House.
feared for his own safety and the safety of others. He feared enough that he tipped off the FBI about his own father. Can you imagine?
And how do you tip off the FBI? So do you pick it up? Is it 1-800-FBI? Or how does that work? Man, get the fuck out of here.
Put in that position. Jackson Reffitt joins us now. I know you love your family, and I know this is hard. So help people understand, why did you feel you had to let authorities know about what was being done to your father and what was happening in his own head?
I don't really know how to explain it.
See, I just think this is all set up. I think CNN is, in my personal opinion, they're trying to frame this picture that is a Trump supporter and the riots and, oh, you turned your father in and you're a hero and all this other stuff. I just think this is a contrived story. I think this is kind of bogus. I think they kind of made this shit up because you notice they're not talking about these people being charged with anything. They're just saying that they're being arrested, but they're not facing charges and being found guilty in the first place. If y'all notice that they rounding up all these people, but these people are out on bail and doing their own thing. They're not getting charged and found guilty. You can be arrested, but if you're not found guilty, they're gonna let you out.
It just felt like the right thing, regardless of my emotions and how I felt and how much I loved my family and my dad. I was worried. I didn't think he would actually do anything bad, but him saying anything even remotely threatening to me and my sister and my family and government officials, it was just too much.
Now, this wasn't just one conversation, Jackson. Help people understand the context. Like, for how long had you been watching your father change, and what seemed to be the influence on him, and what seemed to be that change?
Watch. If he says Donald Trump and all, watch. Just watch. I haven't even watched it, so let's just see what he's gonna say.
I wish I could tell you exactly what, but it's been definitely over the past 4 years that it's grown and just snowballed into what my dad's become now. and he's still my father, but he's changed a lot.
How so?
He's been more active on the internet, and
So you're not giving us no concrete. You're not saying nothing. It looks like he's reading a script. This seems like it's all theater. And what the fuck does this got to do with everybody facing charges and being put in prison for storming the Capitol, breaking into Capitol, defacing government property, going through government files, just doing bogus shit that if any black folk would have done, they would have all been killed. But you sitting up here basically, it seems like they're freestyling it and making this shit up as they go. I don't know, because the kid don't even really know what to say. So how did he change? He's been on social media more. Man, nigga, what?
obviously the militia and the far-right extremists he's been involved with recently. He's been a lot more, I don't want to say aggressive, but more
Cat got his tongue. This is all a bunch of bullshit.
scared.
Would he talk to you about it?
No. I actually never even knew he was going to DC until the day he left. I'm sure it was because of my political views, but I'm not sure.
And when he would explain to you what he thought was going on in the country, how would he describe it?
He said it as if it was the end of times or that this country was on the brink of its own collapse, but trying to boost his own agenda and make it seem more like what he wanted.
When you would talk to your mom about this or any other family, could any of them explain it? Did they see it the same way you did?
No, I'm kind of on my own on my family right now with my own views about my dad. And
Oh man, and see, they're not even going anywhere with this, and he's not even talking about any of the issues. In my honest opinion, okay, what is his issues? Is he an acting white supremacist? What is he? Is he part of the KKK? What is going on? He stormed to the Capitol. We already know what the fuck they had going on, but you tipping off the FBI doesn't change the fact that the FBI has been infiltrated by KKK, and white supremacists. So what does that even matter? And the FBI and the CIA and Homeland Security, they allowed this to happen. They knew that this was going to happen and they didn't give a fuck. So this is what I mean, Fox. You got all these different media outlets, and then they paint these pictures like, oh, so what did you notice? But you could tell he freestyling because he don't even really know what to say.
I do love him and I do care for him, but that doesn't ignore everything else he said and done. What he said, and there's no taking that back. And the fact that he said that is enough for me to tell authorities.
This is not a political argument between a father and a son who are both strong-willed. You have real concerns about your father getting hurt?
Yes, sir. It's
All right, that's enough. Like, somebody give a fuck about that, man. I don't give a fuck about that. That's the problem, man. See, that's the problem. The deflection, the alligator rolls, all the bullshit. You're not talking about anything that is of any significance or any importance to what the fuck we have going on. But what you want to do is take us all up and down and these emotions and about how you turned your dad in and hurrah and hooray to you. Man, we don't give a fuck about that shit. Your dad ain't gonna face no charges. And if he is, he ain't gonna be found guilty. This is y'all system. Y'all need to go look at that documentary on Netflix. It's called Crack. So if Nancy Reagan was talking about just say no, that was Ronald and Nancy Reagan slogan, just say no. Bush was the director of the CIA at the time. Then he was the vice president, and now he was the president. So imagine what the fuck he was doing then. So if they was doing that then, imagine what the fuck is going on now. Just imagine. Y'all need to remember, the president is the CEO of the Pentagon. His job is to deal firearms and weapons and sell them. But motherfuckers don't want to know that. Go look it up. Most people don't even know the different branches. The legislative branch, the executive branch, the judicial branch. The judicial branch is the House of Representatives. The executive branch is where the judges reside, and then the judicial branch is the president. That's what most dumb motherfuckers. You should know a little bit of that, but it doesn't matter. All those branches equal the system of racism, white supremacy. And if you're not trying to establish a system of justice, I don't know what the fuck you doing, man. So while you at church and wherever the fuck you at, talking about Jesus is gonna work it out, then you tell me what the fuck was the slaves doing back in the day when they was getting their ass whooped. They didn't have time to be talking about, well, Jesus gonna work it out. No, nigga. You gonna work it out because Jesus gonna watch you get your motherfucking ass whooped. But hey, man, I digress. Maybe one day we will wake the fuck up and understand that we are more, I would say, powerful than ever when we come together and be on code and establish a code of conduct. But a lot of the times we are not demanding of any of these politicians. We just like the way they look and the way they act. Kamala Harris is not going to do anything for black folk that she's done before she was in office. And then niggas gonna be mad talking about, well, she kind of act like she couldn't do anything for us. But next election, they gonna get us. We'll be seeing this in 4 years. Man, y'all niggas better wake the fuck up and start reading. Go watch the movie To Kill a Messenger. It's about Gary Webb. And he was the one who broke the story initially. And then the CIA threatened him. Then all of a sudden, Gary Webb ends up killing himself by shooting himself twice in the head. How do you shoot yourself twice? But this is what they do, man. One day, man. One day we gonna wake up and understand what the fuck is going on. Ain't gonna be no roses to smell. Ain't gonna be nothing but elephant shit is what you gonna be smelling. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody out there. You already know what it is. You at the Core Plantation. Make it do what it do. If a nigga talking about he gonna tell on another nigga for any bullshit, guilty nigga, that's a Sambo coon. I ain't fucking with that nigga. Love and live life. Handle business. I'm your boy. You already know who I am. Hey, man. Peace.